Hi there, this is Mr. Papanek, and this is an introduction to guitar class. I'm going to talk about a few things in this video, procedures that we do in guitar class so that students can get the most out of those classes and ultimately be successful in learning the guitar. So I'm the main guitar teacher. I'm the one that comes up with the curriculum and the materials and these kinds of ideas to help students progress. And this video is kind of directed toward the parents so that you get an idea of what we tell the students in class at the beginning. But students are free to watch this video as well. It's a good reminder for the things that we've talked about in class, which go pretty quickly. So, being that we meet only once a week and it's only 45 minutes, that goes by pretty quick, and we give a lot of information. So we've developed videos which students can look at later to kind of help them along practice and things like that. But we do have some other things as well. The first thing I want to talk about is practice. Being that we only meet once a week, students are expected to spend the rest of the week practicing their guitar, what we learned in class. That way when they come back the next week, we can build off of what they've already learned. In the guitar book, the very first page gives some just general hints on practice and some ideas for you. So the biggest thing to keep in mind there is that especially younger students are going to need some help with this. If it's up to them to practice on their own, they may not do it, or if they are practicing on their own, they may not be practicing what we gave them. So parents may want to help them establish the routines, the practice routines. In the beginning, practice is going to be very short, maybe 5-10 minutes, because the students just simply don't know very much. As they learn more music, their practice will increase, and hopefully, they'll be a little bit more advanced and will start to take ownership of the practice sessions and will do that on their own. But at least in the beginning, they're probably going to need help, and they may need help for a while. So just keep that in mind. And if students are not practicing, then they're probably going to get behind, and then it's not going to be very much fun anymore. Alright, so anyway, let's move on to what we call the practice log. This is also in the book. There should be a couple of pages, and these are split up into 4 weeks of practice. So 2 pages will cover all 8 weeks. So in this practice log, students will write down what their assignments are for the week so that they know what they're supposed to be practicing in case they forget. And then there's a space here to keep track of how many minutes they practiced for the week, and then a space for the parent's signature. Each week we check the books to see if the students have filled in their practice record and whether they've shown you, whether it's signed or not. We tell them that they should be showing this to you on a weekly basis. That way there's some little communication between us and you, between the students and you, as to, okay, what are they supposed to be doing and are they doing it? If students bring this back filled in each week, they get a treat, so that's a little incentive for them. So we'll take a close-up look at the practice record in just a moment. Also, we do have these. If a student by chance forgets his or her book that week, we have a stack of these at the school. They can take one of these and fill it in and bring this back next week instead, or transfer it over to their book, whatever works for them. Alright, so let's take a look at one of those up close and see how it should be filled in. Alright, here's an example of one of the practice cards up close. So you can see there's a space for the name and the date. And then here the students will write down what their assignments are for the week. Here's a place to keep track of the minutes, the total. and then this parent signature. So basically how this works is if your student, say, has class on Wednesday, they'll start filling in from here. Let's say it's the first of the month. So this would be the first, and then the next, if they practice later that day after class, they can put in those minutes. And then this would be the second, third, fourth, fifth. And then they would go on to the next week, 6th, 7th, and then bring the card back for class on the 8th. And then they would get a new one at that point in time. Okay, so they may need help with, adding up the minutes for the younger students. So I hope this is a good tool for you to kind of help see how your children are progressing in the class. All right, so that's how a practice card should look. The other situation that does come up sometimes in class is students are ill or they miss a class for whatever reason. They don't not there to write down their assignments. So we do make sure that they get that information as well, and there's 2 ways we do it. Just because a student misses class doesn't mean they're off the hook for practicing for the week. We do send an email every week saying briefly what we've done in class and what the students should be practicing for the week. We also do have a web page for each of the schools that lists what each of the classes should be practicing as well. So you'll get a link in the email that goes to that page. So, it might be a good idea to bookmark that page. Alright, so that's a little bit about the practice records. Now what we're going to move on for is how else you can be involved with the class. So we do have a YouTube channel that is for guitar classes, and on that YouTube channel it basically has demonstrations of most of the songs in the book. Some of them are me playing the guitar and singing. Some of them have music on the screen where I point to the music as it's being played. So one of the ways that you can also help the students is by getting them on that YouTube channel or getting them to look at the videos. Some of the parents use those videos to practice with their children. They want to be involved, but they may not know. You may not know anything about music or playing the guitar. Well, you can look at the videos with the students and see, that the concepts are pretty simple at the beginning. And you can even probably learn yourself how to play a little bit, by looking at those videos. We do send links in the email. I talked about the email earlier where we have the assignments listed. Well, we put links to those videos next to each of those assignments so that students can pull those up and look at them. Some students like to practice with the videos, or you can, they use them to hear maybe how a song goes and learn how to sing it a little bit better and things like that. We do have those links also on the web page with the assignments. So again, bookmarking that page is a good idea. Students can easily look up their assignments, especially if they've missed class. So, and then they can use those as practice tools as well. Okay, so I hope that helps. I'm just going to talk about those couple of things in this video. If I have other topics, I'll make new videos for those. So I hope you enjoyed watching the video, and thank you for your time.